No intro this week. No intro.
Whoa, no intro.
No intro.
Well, how do they know what they're watching?
They don't.
They don't know.
They don't
we know, but they don't know.
We're back.
Well, they hear his voice, my handsome face. They know what time it is.
Yeah.
They know what time it is. It's
your
live
Slumpbusters
Saturday
here,
night,
ladies and gentlemen.
boys.
That's right.
Live Saturday night. And what are we talking? So we got my boy Rios in the house. And then our boy Sam, who, we like him better than Carlos at this point, so screw it.
Yeah, Carlos is on an aquatic adventure this week.
God, you guys are savages.
What is he doing?
He's going to get in touch with his heritage and stuff, right? Down in Mexico. And
I thought he was going to the Titanic.
He's Mexican? I thought he was from Oakland.
Oh, I don't know.
Right? Don't know. He's a Californian.
I can't talk about this kind of thing. That's on you guys. Okay?
Hey, man, I love how the beer is coming along, man. It's good.
Thanks.
Right?
Yeah, I know. I shaved it all off, and that thing came right back.
Yeah, full on.
The Scottish in me refuses not to have one.
It would take me about 47 years to get it just like that. So
right,
40, just 47,
just 47,
just 47. Well, it's all right, baby. You got a beautiful beard right there. Look at you, nice and all little scrubby, little scrub brush.
Damn right.
Go
and it only took me 28 fucking years.
It didn't connect. It was just patches.
Yeah, it just connected like 2 days ago.
he had the Cantinflas mustache.
So let's do some housekeeping before we start.
Yeah, that's a good drink, Rios. That's a good drink. I love it.
Makes your eyes pop. Our boy Carlos was in the Locked On Astros podcast yesterday.
He was. He looked good. He looked like he was good.
He looked comfortable. Dude. He looked like he knew what he was doing or talking about.
Which he never does here.
I know. I wish he brought that energy over here.
Right?
I would love it.
He's going on somebody else's. It's like, let me tell you something, people.
No, but
what can I say? He's a useless piece of shit.
He represents us very well.
When he wants to.
When he wants to.
What is really up with it? It's attack mode all of a sudden.
We told him.
We're actually being tame about it. We're keeping it like, we normally go off.
Yeah, we usually compare his odor to, cat urine that's been sitting in the summer sun, but...
Hey, we should have probably talked about this for the show. Am I supposed to defend him and then y'all crush me? Or y'all crush me and then I defend him? I can't remember.
No, we'll crush you regardless at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
But if you defend him, it's on site, so you're a bit more.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen you without a hat. Put that shit back on right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, Pod Daddy. I'll get it right on.
Do not change it up on me now. There we go. Good. Better.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks better than Carlos with a hat on. That's the glare from that forehead. I can't see.
Golly. We have spent 3 minutes and 47 seconds destroying Carlos.
We still got an hour to go, boy.
It ain't seen nothing yet.
Baby.
Before we get started, how you guys been doing?
Good. Making it. Happy. Just happy to be. It's good. The nursery's coming along for the new baby boy coming along. The twin girls are flourishing in good and evil ways. And remind me of Bonnie, the alpha, I like to call her of the two, has walked by. I have a little baby gate here. My wife works in this room that I'm in. And she walked by the gate and she had her sunglasses on and she has a baby buggy. And she's walking by. She goes, "Mom, shopping now." Just kept walking.
Well, okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, she's in charge. So, other than that, it's been great. I might be raising a hellion, but that's fine. It's good.
Well, I mean, give her 5 more years. She'll be running the household, You just live there. You don't run
5 more years.
I love. First of all, y'all's your little names under the names are so funny. Your actual dad by Poppy.
Yeah, don't you ever forget it.
That's right. It's my dad. I call whoever's hosting. I call him Pod Daddy. Yes, Pod Daddy.
There you go. Take that to my
Make some
grave.
people
Put
fun.
it on my gravestone.
How are you, Rios? How are
Yeah.
you?
What about you, Rios?
Work has been ass, man. It's been so hot. I'll be out there for 5 minutes. I'm just
It's
like
been
3 layers of sweat.
so hard, bro. I'll be sweating like between my freaking toes, bro. Like it's coming out of every surface. I hate it.
Look,
It's
I don't,
terrible.
I don't want to have a temperature measuring contest here because I know y'all are way hotter. But it was 91 here today, and the humidity at 78. It was not pleasant today.
Yeah, I think our humidity ranges from like 1,000 to like 5,000.
It's like this. It's like the sun in Mario. It's getting closer and closer, and it's just chasing you. Like, no, Yahweh, párale.
Yeah.
Stop! He's already dead. You know.
Yeah. Haven't you done enough? You know. He can't move anymore. Oh,
No,
yeah, it's steamy.
I did go to the beach for the first time like in 10 years. That was pretty fun.
Oh. Well,
Get some vitamin D. That's good, man. That's good.
did you go with your ex?
She's not my ex.
Oh, I brought her back. She says it's real this time.
She believes in me.
She only hit me because I was out of line.
Well, whenever she meets you, she's probably going to throw you through a wall. Like, literally. Poppy's met her. You remember?
Yeah, I met her. She's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's going to throw him through a wall.
Yeah.
I feel just a little bit more worried for Rios every show I do with him. I'm like, I need to.
I gave up on that a long time ago, man.
Yeah, just let him go, Sam. He's fine.
He's like,
dead.
oh, man.
He's dead already, Sam.
Yeah, my guardian angel left a long time ago. He's like,
okay, y'all.
Oh yeah, sports.
Yeah, let's talk some NBA draft.
Sure.
oh, another subject Carlos knows nothing about.
Man, yeah.
I listen. I barely know anything about. This is my first time following an NBA team, so I'm making it.
So, I mean, I'm not big on college games.
Me neither.
I watch more of the NBA, but going into this draft, I did have obviously the big prospects. I was actually also looking at some of the guys because I'm looking at this Houston roster, right? And forgive us, Sam, we're gonna talk a lot about Houston, but we'll venture out into some other territory.
It's your show, bro. Just wake me up when it's time.
But I'm looking at this Rockets lineup and roster that we have, and I'm looking at the stuff that we need. Obviously, Victor would have been a game changer for everybody, for anybody in the league.
Anybody.
And obviously, he won number one, right?
To
the surprise
Spurs.
to the surprise of nobody,
Spurs.
to the Spurs, and people talk about this is gonna bring
I hate with all my heart and soul.
100%. Like
what can I ask why, or is it just common thing? Like Nashville and Memphis don't like each other. You know what I mean? Like is it that kind of thing? Okay, right.
It's one of those. It's not as not as bad as us towards down. South Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we hate Dallas the most, then San Antonio.
Okay, all right, cool.
And then Waco.
And then Waco. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Austin's like, a little bit lower than list. And we actually like going to Austin.
Oh yeah.
For now, it's getting too expensive. What's up, Bo? How's it going?
Hey, Bo, buddy, how are you?
But obviously, the Victor won number one. Then the Hornets drafted Brandon Miller.
Now that was a bit surprising.
And I feel like everybody says the draft always starts at the number 2 pick.
It does.
And
do they? Cool. Now I know that. Hello, Alexa. Alexa,
would like to join. Alexa, join the chat.
She'd be a better host than Carlos.
Yeah, basically.
Good Lord.
And then Scoot goes number 3. Obviously, I feel like Scoot was a clear number 2.
What a name,
Scoot Henderson. I know, I love it.
Well, the problem with the Hornets
and Gravy Dick are like the names here because I'm like my first NBA draft and I'm like, what? His name is what?
Like Gravy Dick?
Like who said that?
Are you guys trying to get me to say Grady Dick? Like, is that what you're trying to do? That's what it kind of felt like anyway.
And then obviously, the Hornets, why would they take another guard when they have Melo?
Well, then you go best player available. You don't go for need because when you go for need, that's like when Portland took what's his face over Jordan. Because
Yeah, it's one of those things like the top. I would say at least top 3 picks should be get the best player available, unless you're already a contender and you just like need one
Charlotte
piece.
is not.
With Charlotte is not. Like obviously, all those years ago, Golden State with the number 2 pick got James Wiseman because they did need a center. They needed some more height, and they thought it was the right call at the time. Obviously, it ended up not being the case. But the Hornets probably should have gone Scoot. LaMelo's already a tall, like
Because
guard.
you could switch LaMelo to shooting guard and have them rotate like
100%. But I was hoping a Scoot or Brandon Miller would drop to 4. That ended up not happening. We got
I did not want Brandon Miller. When you say Paul George is the GOAT, I want nothing to do with you, sir.
Hey, Paul George.
Yeah,
I don't know about the GOAT, but yeah, it's a bit out there. But
he's probably the first person that got drug tested before he got drafted.
But both of the Thompson twins went back to back, which I thought was pretty cool.
And considering where they went, Houston and Detroit,
which are like 2 up and coming teams at the moment.
Yeah, because Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green.
So, what are your thoughts on our pick, Rios? Amen Thompson. What are your thoughts on it?
So after it was decided we weren't going to get Wemby, I was like, okay, so I got to look at the rest of the draft.
Right. I got to do some homework.
Yeah, but then I started picking 4. I was like, there's no way Scoot's going to fall to us. So it was basically it's just going to be between Amen Thompson or Brandon Miller. I didn't want Brandon Miller at all. I don't think he would be a fit on the roster. And then the whole Paul George thing, nah. So I was looking more into Amen Thompson. Like I was looking at his visuals, bro. Like he's like elite, like in everything except shooting, like defense, assisting, like court vision. Already elite. Pretty much everything you want from a point guard. The only thing is he can't shoot, which is you can teach that. Like I think some of his player comparisons of what I've been seeing from other scouts is they're comparing to Ja Morant. And if he could turn into that in a few years, man.
Turn into holding guns on camera? Yeah. I was like, wait, what are you talking about here, man?
He's not a shooter. He's not a shooter, so we love it.
He's not a shooter, so now we can learn to shoot on the court.
You can't shoot with a fake gun, fellas. Come on.
It was a lighter.
So listen, because you and I had this conversation earlier in the season, Rios. Obviously, KPJ got paid, and it seemed like he was going to be the point guard of the future. Now with Amen Thompson, doesn't seem to be the case. So what does the future hold for KPJ?
I think he's a better shooting guard. I think they're going to have him be like the 6th man, be like the Manu Ginobili of our roster, which is
a bucket getter from the bench.
Yeah, so like basically run the second unit, and honestly, that's what you need to win in the NBA. Like you need to have a strong second unit. You can't be top heavy like all these super teams, like the LeBron made or like the Warriors with the head KD. Like it's not sustainable.
Right.
You gotta have a roster like the Nuggets. Like you got your superstar and you got your great player here, and then you got like a solid lineup and you have a solid bench.
Yeah, and obviously we don't know if Amen Thompson is going to come into the league and 100% flourish. It's not like we're going to give him the keys. Obviously, Jalen's still going to handle a lot of the ball. I do hope that his off-ball movement gets a little bit better, catch and shoot type of stuff. I feel like Amen and KPJ are going to share the minutes for this season. I am hoping for a lot more defensive effort from the roster overall, and we'll talk about our second draft pick in a little bit, but we do have a good question from our boy Bo. Do you think Wemby gets the Spurs another? Do you think he becomes that Duncan, like Tim Duncan, David Robinson type of player? Obviously, they still got Greg Popovich at the helm. The story just feels it builds itself, right? So
I've seen this story 2 times already. I don't want to see it a third time, man. My soul can't take it.
I hate the way they do the first round draft pick. I hate it.
Why? Why do you hate it?
Because they do this lottery, and I get the pros and there's cons. I just think it's ridiculous that this team that has been super successful gets to pick again. Like,
Oh,
that's just
there is no pros to the lottery.
The thing is, like, they
It's
haven't
rigged.
been successful in, like, when's the last time they won the ship? Like 2014?
Yeah, it's been
was
about
it
almost 10 years.
2014?
2014
Really?
They've
Was
been,
it?
were the last
they've,
time they were actually like,
yeah, they've been to playoffs last
Okay.
4 years.
Well, yeah,
But
I don't know. I'm not a fan of how they do the lottery and everything like that. I just think, come on.
oh no, it's been rigged for a while. Like you heard the stories from the David Stern days, like when the Knicks had the number 1 pick. They froze the envelope so New York could select the right envelope, and now like
Wow.
basically the balls are looking weighted so they know which balls to pick up. Like it's
no, they warm up the balls. They warm them up.
like there's
Oh, yeah,
there's a
it's
whole,
super hot.
like there's a lot of different theories, and I mean it makes sense. Like how some of these teams, they weren't even the Spurs weren't even the worst team in the league. They got the number 1 pick. Like
Let's talk more about that ball warming you were talking about.
So, but
go
going
on.
back to Wemby though, like obviously he's probably the most hype prospect
For good reason.
For good reason. The last time somebody was this high was probably Zion, and before that was probably LeBron.
We saw Zion turned out, and oh man.
Hey, Zion's still a bucket getter, bro. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
On and off the court.
For all,
On and off the
He's-
court, my guy's
he's a-
getting it. My
hey,
guy's
He's
getting
a
on
booty
and off the court,
getter as far as I'm
freak of-
concerned. You know what
hey,
I mean?
on and off the court, he's a freak of nature.
it. Or boy,
Okay, I'm sorry, Alan. I'm new to this whole basketball thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
have been pretty bad, and they've made
Wow.
some pretty weird moves in the past. But Wemby, like we said at the top of the show,
Get him
Wemby
back
is
on track.
Yeah, Wemby is a difference maker for anybody as long as he can stay healthy, right?
Because I'm looking into like basically the history of the NBA of all the guys that are like taller than like 7'3". It's not great. It's not a great track record. Like there's injuries derailed all of them. Like a perfect example is Ralph Sampson. Like he's like the same type of player that Wemby is. He was 7'4". He had handles like a guard. Like they thought he was gonna transform the league, and injuries just caught up to him. Because being that tall, like your body just can't take some of those. Jumping up and down multiple times throughout the year, it takes a toll on your lower ligaments.
Yeah.
Even here in Houston, man, with the Yao Ming experiment, he was great. He was elite. He was an
When he was
all-star,
healthy.
all NBA, but he had a very short career if you think about it.
He did. Well, guys that tall, it's all foot injuries, and then like lower leg injuries. It just their bodies aren't designed to take that type of punishment.
Look at Embiid
Guys,
when he got drafted. What?
Guys, you know who is made to take that kind of punishment? This jerkwad that's in chat right now named Carlos.
Oh, look at him!
Oh,
he got
look at the
things to
catcher
say.
again.
He got things to say. By the way, you got that line from me, just so you know. You're welcome.
Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. We don't know what that is, bro.
Oh, see?
He wishes. He
The
wishes.
thing is, like we've actually seen it, so I can.
Let's just say this: we have seen his ass more times than his girlfriend has, and I'm scarred for the rest of my life.
Another good comment. Like Greg Oden was one of those guys. Like
Poor Poppy, trying to steer this bus, keep it on
I'm
the road.
trying, man. I'm trying. We tend to go on tangents a lot.
Oh, I
A
know.
lot of the time, I cost.
I love
so
it.
I'm trying to do.
I love
better.
it. That's why I love coming on here.
When Carlos is not here, I have to take responsibility. But like
You can't do this.
Greg
We're
Oden
ADD squirrels.
Greg Oden is another case of it.
It is, yeah.
Obviously, Chet.
Again, foot
Chet was
injuries.
Chet was one of the big prospects last year, and we haven't even seen him play. He
Yeah,
missed
he got
all of
injured. He got injured trying to guard LeBron. Like, bro, like someone needs to fit Chip Holmgren all the sandwiches in Oklahoma because
Did he flop into him or something? Like, what did he do?
I think he just.
he drove to the basket.
He landed wrong. He was trying to defend LeBron, and he landed on the back foot, and ligament injuries.
Smack. Yeah.
See, that's the thing with these tall guys. Like, as soon as they wrong landing, and season's over.
Wemby looks like one of those type of players who it's like high ceiling, really high ceiling.
Like the highest of ceilings, but man, that floor. We've seen the story.
Yes.
Manute Bol, Sean Bradley, Greg Ogden, Yao Ming, Ralph Sampson. Like we've seen the story 1,000 times in the NBA.
I thought Embiid was going to be the same way, but after missing his rookie year, he came back and he stayed for the most part healthy. Won MVP, stuff like that.
Well, the thing with Embiid is he put on a lot of muscle.
He had the frame. He had the frame. Same with Giannis.
They had that muscle because when they were skinny, they were getting hurt a lot.
You look at Wemby. You look at Wemby. The guy's 7'5" or whatever, power forward, whatever you want to call it. My guy is built like a twig, right? So we'll see how that translates on his rookie year onto the league. But he's gonna have to put a lot of hours in the gym, lifting weights, getting big, trying to compete with some of these dominant centers. Obviously, Jokic is a guy who has all the skills in the world, and my guy's built like a
plumber.
Yeah, like a plumber, bro. So that's a matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing, like a lot. I want to see him against Jokic. I want to see him against Embiid. I want to see him against DeAndre Ayton.
Sengun. It's another one.
Sengun.
He's gonna put him in the spin cycle, man. Because Sengun's footwork, bro. He's
got the footwork, but Wemby's got like 8 inches on Sengun.
I gotta ask.
But Sengun has 100 pounds on him.
I got a new NBA question. New fan NBA question. Do your first round guys start right away, or they usually ride bench?
In a team like the Rockets, they do.
Okay.
So the NBA is a little bit different. They may start, but as far as making an impact, the NBA actually takes them at least 2 to 3 seasons before you see that what they're going to be as far as a player. It's not like the NFL. Like you have some guys in the NFL like right away. Like
you're drafted number 1. You're playing. Like that's all.
Not just that, but like making an impact right away. NBA is a little bit different because it's a much different game than college. You have much better athletes. Most of these guys, much heavier set than college ranks. It's a different ball game.
I mean,
the
Rockets, for instance, right? They're such a young team that minutes can be shared a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other like more well-established teams with vets that have starting positions in those teams where like rookies come in, could be a first round, could be even a lottery pick. That doesn't mean they're going to come in right away, like Rio said, and make an impact. They're not going to drop 20 every game. Jalen Green, when he started,
he struggled for the first few. He struggled most of the season. It wasn't until like maybe the last 2 or 3 months where he really turned it on.
Exactly, he had a good stretch where he was dropping like 30 points like every other night or whatever. But it's because he was the only person in the lineup that was able to score the ball. So somebody like Wemby, he's definitely going to make an impact. Like I can see him getting double doubles from day one.
He's got the coach to do it.
Brandon Miller is one that may struggle because LaMelo, he basically very ball dominant guard. Brandon Miller plays the wing. Like if he can make an impact defensively, I don't see Brandon Miller dropping 20 a game like starting off. Scoot Henderson, that one's a good one because what happens to Dame? What happens to Damian Lillard? Obviously, by them getting Scoot, it's basically the Trailblazers saying like we're probably going to trade him. Could you start both of them? Sure. But
Damon said he's not a part of a rebuild anymore.
Exactly. Damon said
he wants the ring at this point.
Yeah, at least content. Like it's been years since he's been to a conference final. And with how stacked the West is now, it's almost going to be impossible at this point. My guy's like, what, 34,
he's
35?
He's like 32, I think. 32 or 33. Somewhere around that range.
But like a little older. But he did drop like a 70 this past season. So
he dropped 71. Like he's still an elite scorer, but he
can go to a contender and make a difference for sure. Amen Thompson, I think he's gonna start. Also Thompson, I think with the Pistons, I think he's gonna start next to Cade. Magic drafting Anthony Black. That's a weird one because the Magic have so many guards, so many 2 guards as well.
Well, the same thing with the Pistons. The Pistons are very guard heavy as well.
Yeah, but one of them is Killian Hayes, and he's not going to touch the floor.
It's part of that strategy, though. Like, it's part of it. Like, hey, we get our strategy, how we attack the court. Is that part? why
Well,
you would do something like that.
in today's NBA, it's kind of positionless. Like, there's no like, back in the '90s, there was like, true centers, true power forwards, true point guards. Now it's like a little interchangeable almost.
Huh. Okay.
It's almost not completely positionless, but it's kind of hard to say. This guy's a true shooting guard. This guy's a true point guard.
You want a
true
lot
center.
of versatility in your lineup because some teams go small, some teams go they do the double big, kind of like Cleveland was doing with Jared Allen, Evan Mobley.
Because today's NBA is about spacing and shooting threes and transition defense.
You got to shoot the three. So now, before the show, Mr. Sam, Mr. First Down.
Poppy. Yes,
hey,
Pod Daddy.
I've been following you on Twitter, where you've been saying like you were looking for a new NBA franchise to follow.
Well, yeah, I haven't followed NBA. I haven't followed NBA like at all.
My first question was, why would it not be the Memphis Grizzlies?
Because you're following them and it's a home state and that's easy to do. And they were in the top 3. I wanted to pick teams that I could easily drive to a game to. So it left me with 3, right? It left me with the Pacers, Atlanta Hawks, and Memphis Grizzlies. But the Memphis Grizzlies are doing well. So I feel like if I just jumped into it now,
bandwagon.
I would jump in. Yeah, I'd be bandwagon. The Hawks
with the way Ja Morant's off the court decision making is going.
Yeah, because I didn't pick them, they're going to stink now. Is that how that works? So
it's your fault.
Well, from what I've read, now this is new basketball fan talking. What I've read is that they played okay without Ja Morant in there.
They did. They actually went through stretches where they were winning games without Ja. So I feel like it's not that they're gonna miss him a lot to start the season. I feel like it's because it's the reason why he's missing that they're gonna struggle. Dylan Brooks is out. Dylan Brooks was more on the court antics that was bringing them kind of hate from the NBA fans and whatnot. Ja, this is the second time he's done whole IG live stuff. So I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have to make some decisions if he doesn't turn it around fairly quickly.
And what a shame too. What a talent.
What a shame, because Memphis is one of those teams where I was from afar, kind of rooting for. I hope they can make a conference final.
Grind City,
Exactly. Yeah. I like Ja's game a lot.
He's fun to watch.
Desmond Bain.
He's one of the most electric players in the NBA. But
Jaren Jackson Jr., another elite defender. Steven Adams, one of the nicest players in the game, and he's also one of the scariest.
Right? I mean, he's from Australia. They fight. As soon as they wake up.
There was a lot to root for there, and I feel like Ja with his antics and whatnot, kind of brought a dark cloud over Memphis. So I understand why you wouldn't go for them at the moment.
Right.
If I was going to suggest a team, right, you ended up going with the Pacers, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I wanted to. There were obviously, I don't want you to be a Rockets fan. That would be me being too biased, right? And I don't want you to be miserable for the next 5 years.
I'll probably be miserable for the next 2 as the Pacers, to be honest with you.
I feel like, and Rios can probably attest to this, there's one sleeper team in the West that has so many assets. And honestly, any offseason, they could make 2 moves that automatically would put them top 4 teams in the NBA. And that team is the OKC Thunder.
Okay. Well, Alan's about to get on chat again. Just wait.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have the 35 number 1 picks for the next 20 years. It's ridiculous.
I was close. I was really close to picking them, but I really wanted to.
I didn't want to sway your vote in any way. That's why I didn't suggest it on Twitter or whatever. But the OKC Thunder is one of those teams where they have pretty much all NBA caliber in Shea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
One of the best young, versatile, 2 guards and small forwards in Josh Giddey, right?
Okay.
They have a really young core. They have Lou Dort, who can defend, Poku, who has a lot of upside, Chet, obviously coming back from injury, hopefully. as our boy over here said, that he's been putting a lot of weight. So hopefully, when he comes back from his injury, he's actually going to be able to hold his own against some of the other bigs. I would love to see a matchup of Chet and Wemby in the future.
Right.
But they have all of these young players, and like Rio said, 75,000 number one picks for the next 27 years, right? So
I mean, some big deal. I take it that they're stuck.
They could make the next big star that's looking to get out of their situation.
Mm-hmm.
We can say maybe Giannis next, this year they completely bottom out the Bucks, and Giannis needs a new team. Boom. OKC. Yeah. Imagine Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with Giannis catching lobs and dominating the paint.
I don't want to imagine that as a Rockets fan. I don't want to see that.
Exactly. So
a lot of Giannis talk when I was looking up stuff. There's a lot of people that hate and love that guy. It's so weird.
It's impossible to hate him. It's impossible to hate him.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I hate him. It's just the fake humbleness.
Go to Twitter. Annoying. You'll find them. They're there.
I would say the fake humbleness is a little annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I love the guy.
Yeah, I would say I dislike him. It's just the fake humbleness.
Talented.
It's kind of like with Steph Curry, the fake humbleness. Bro, you're not that humble. Just be real. I don't like people being fake. That just annoys me.
Did he
be who you are?
Didn't he chase off the coach? And everybody was kind of upset that they chased off the coach, right?
I mean, yeah, but so that's stuff like that happens all the time. It's not
okay. Buckle and Sam. That's how it works.
He was doing his best LeBron impersonation, running off the bench.
Yeah, but stuff like that happens all the time. Same thing happened in Atlanta with Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
Every season, some coach gets run off their team because of the star or whatever. Not the biggest deal in the world. And obviously, he proved everybody wrong when he won a championship in Milwaukee, the smallest market to win it since who knows when. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
Dallas when they won it back in 2011.
Yeah. It's a super team at that.
Yeah. And even then, I would argue Dallas was probably a bigger market than Milwaukee is now.
Yeah.
That's the Dirk year, right? That's when Dirk went ape shit on people. Yeah. That was nuts.
That's when JJ Barea and Jason Terry played LeBron James.
JJ Barea ended the dreams of all of Miami.
Ooh-wee.
But you said you went with the Pacers.
I did.
And I feel that's kind of like a lot of when you make a first round draft pick. A lot the ceiling is very high.
Right.
But the floor can be very low, man. The Pacers have been one of those teams, kind of like the Spurs, who have been a complete dumpster fire for the last few years.
Right.
Yeah, they're one of those, they had good runs, but they usually run into a juggernaut.
They had good players.
In the 90s, the juggernaut was the Bulls. In the 2000s, it was the LeBron James teams, the Cavs and the Heat.
Right. No, I get that, everything like that. I just kind of wanted to. It felt like when I was researching them that they're kind of on the ground floor, and I wanted to be somewhere on the ground floor.
And that's great, right? I would say they're probably a level above where the Rockets are now. They got rid of Sabonis, which was probably their best player at the time, for somebody like.
What's he talking about? I don't.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
So if you ever watch a show on Netflix or any movie for that matter, if it's in Mexico for some reason, that's an orange tint, which makes no sense. Anyone's ever been to Mexico? There is not no orange tint when you get there. The sky is not orange. The atmosphere is not orange. It's normal.
I was like, did the Canadian fire smoke made it down there too? Damn, I didn't get what he was saying there, but I felt like I was on the ground floor of it. The Atlanta Hawks were another one, and I was looking at highlights of each team. Of course,
you don't want to do Atlanta.
Yeah, I didn't.
I feel like there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's not going great over there.
You're gonna be destined for sadness.
Yeah, but the Pacers is a good pick. Tyrese Halliburton is one of the funnest players to watch. At the point guard position, I felt like Sacramento made a mistake letting him go, but obviously it was a win-win situation because Sacramento actually made the playoffs for the first time in 47,000 years. after the trade. So it was a win-win for everybody. But Tyrese, great player. They got the center that if they can keep him, which he's been involved in a lot of trade rumors, Miles Turner. If they can keep him with Tyrese, they just got.
They still got Sabonis, right?
No, Sabonis is in Sacramento, my boy.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah,
that's
right.
That's what Tyrese is there. So, like, I feel like they are years away from making like a conference finals,
Right.
But they are in the cusp. I would say probably the East is an easier conference at the moment. What are you drinking, Rios? What are you drinking?
St. Arnold's Summer Pills.
It's good.
But the Pacers, man. Like, I'm happy for you. Hopefully you're not that miserable in a few years.
I hope not.
Because the Pacers is one of those organizations who like really shed the bed a few times in the past decade or so.
Well, the good thing is the East is wide open. There is no like dominant team in the East.
I mean, the AC made it all the way to the finals, right? So like anybody over there.
If Dave Lillard goes to Miami, that's a different story. But
did y'all watch the draft coverage when I was talking about? Like, I was like looking up videos of the Pacers. I was like, that Reggie Miller guy was ridiculous. That was excellent. And then I was like, oh, Malice in the Palace, but this was a great game. And I was like, this isn't a game. This is Ron Artest.
It's an incident.
Beating the crap out of some rando.
I remember seeing that. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
I was like, man, I bet somebody just scored like 8 million points. I just clicked on it. And I was like, oh my God.
Like Malice at the Palace. What is this?
Yeah. Oh,
Malice.
Yeah.
That's one of those events. You remember what you were doing when that was on TV? I was like, where's Ron Artest going? Oh no.
You think he got suspended for like 60 games or something like that?
Oh yeah. He beat up the wrong person too. It wasn't even the right guy. He just started wailing on him. And I was like, it took hours for the cops to get everything like straightened out.
It was absolute chaos, and I loved every second.
Absolute chaos.
Well, I was like, okay.
I want to see.
Where's he going?
I want to see players fight the fans. That's the next evolution of sports. Players fighting the fans.
We don't condone this at the Just Fans podcast. We do not condone.
Well, unless
they really ask for it.
Well, yeah, they were asking for it. That's why I went here.
Because when you throw a beer at someone, it's kind of asking for it.
Was that before or after
beer.
he changed his name to Meta World Peace?
No, that was before. He was still Ron Artest. He was still Ron Artest on the Rockets. He changed his name to Meta World Peace on the Lakers.
So I'm watching this video, and I'm like, it's not really that big of a fight. And then they started like walking up the bleachers, and I'm like, okay. Oh my God, he's just beating the crap out of this dude. But like seriously though, those Reggie Miller videos I was watching, that guy was a dog, an absolute dog. But like him doing the choke sign
to the Knicks. I love that.
Spike Lee, man, Spike Lee. Woo! About the pitcher fighting. Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. That's my bad. Carlos is writing in it again. Does that make y'all mad?
This is the type of stuff I condone. This is the type of stuff I want to see.
Pitcher and fighting catcher in baseball. Loser
gets
ejected when he earns a run.
Not the catcher, but the hitter. Like there should be like one Mount Rush per game. If somebody gets beaned, then that batter has the right to fight the pitcher, and winner stays on the game. Loser gets ejected.
I remember. I was watching the Yankees and Red Sox because I just want to see two people kill each other, and
not this
year. No, now they just go throw the ball. But the guy threw and he hit Big Papi, and just beamed him. And Papi, the guy like read his lips and subtitles. He goes, "That's your one. Do it again. I'm coming out there." And I was like,
"You get one." Yeah.
He got back out there again, and the guy dinged him. And he walked out there, and that guy ran like a jackrabbit. Like he was
Big
not.
Papi,
I was like, that guy's a good.
I would too. Have you seen that man?
Why did you throw it at him?
And he has a bat in his hand. No, I don't want the smoke, fam.
He don't need no bat either. He don't need no bat. I think
Right?
he just threw it. I think he threw it because I think I know the game you're talking about. I think he just threw the bat on the ground and he just rushed him.
Yeah, but like that's the only like one thing in sports. I think most fights in sports, I'm like, all right, guys, calm down, like everybody off, whatever. But if I get hit with a baseball going 90 miles per hour, I'm gonna want to hit somebody because that's my career you're talking about.
It's on site,
like, especially so.
Yeah,
because sometimes it happens. They lose the grip or whatever.
Yeah,
they apologize. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man, my bad."
Yeah,
if they do
if it goes off your butt or something.
Yeah, and then they call you a bitch for it or whatever.
Yeah.
Nah.
The gloves are off, bro. Let's go.
I love the guys that are like halfway to first and then just gut it.
that's the A-League for us. It's always on site. A-League fall day.
So Sam,
it's crazy.
Going back to the draft or whatever. Are you familiar with any of the prospects at all? Like,
I of course did Wemby. It's hard. Right. That was hard not to miss. I was surprised Whitmore fell, but then somebody told me he had an injury or something like that.
So I was ecstatic. He was a top 5 pick, and he fell to 20.
So right before the draft, might have been the day or a couple of days before, there were all these reports saying like he's not very mature. He has some medical like stuff. I don't even know like what has been reported on that. But like there were a lot of like red flags on him.
Mm-hmm.
So they were saying maybe because he was projected to go 4 if I'm not mistaken.
He was the top. He was the top 5
had him
pick.
in 3s and 4s. Yeah,
and my guy was like, kind of felt like when Levis was falling out of the first round and we were watching the NFL draft. It's like, who's gonna pick this guy up? When the Rockets got him, my first thought was, what? Like, if everybody's letting him go, why are we getting him? But at the same time, kind of like Rio said, like it's like, I mean, getting him at 20, it's not like that much of a swing and a miss, right? Like not that much of a risk,
right?
Like if you hit it out of the park, I mean, you hit it out of the park with that. Like,
well, it's similar to Terry Easton last year from LSU. Like he was projected to go in the top 10, and he fell at 17,
and he was actually pretty good for us as well. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot to learn as somebody like me that just walks into it and I'm watching trades happen. I'm like, that's a lot of picks and movement. And then people are like, yeah, 2nd round picks,
I thought there were going to be a lot more trades as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad there wasn't because I was trying to keep up with everything. I was like, okay. By the way, that draft took forever. That was a long draft.
It's way too long. It was like, what, 3 hours? 3.5 hours?
Something like that. Yeah.
I was expecting like a big blockbuster trade, like
Yeah, I was expecting Dame to get traded draft night. Honestly,
I was expecting Dame. I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody like Paul George or Kawhi got traded. They're like close to the last year of the deals. Is like the Clippers, obviously, they're because none of them can stay healthy long enough to play together. I think Kawhi has played the same amount of games that he has missed since he went to the Clippers. Or is like off by like 10 games or so. So like if my guys can't stay healthy, might as well just trade both or at least one of them. So I was expecting something like that. Maybe Paul George to New York, something like that. Kawhi to the Mavericks, something like some crazy trade or something like that.
Something didn't happen.
But
everybody kept telling me there was going to be something, and I'm like,
nothing huge, right? Even Shams reported, right, that he was keeping an eye on trades more so than announcing the picks or whatever. So it's like one of those things where it's like I was really expecting like a blockbuster. Nothing too big happened. The Mavericks did get Cason Wallace, and then they traded him to the Thunder, stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but the offseason just started.
Right. Yeah.
We basically know that the Dame trade is imminent at this point.
It's inevitable at this point. Yeah. Don't be surprised if AD gets traded too. I think
the Lakers. You think the Lakers are making moves? I don't think the Lakers are making any major moves.
I can see them moving Anthony Davis. I think Because again, LeBron's the GM, and he's going to try to build
But
a super
who?
team.
If you're the Lakers, realistically, who can you get for Anthony Davis that
This is
complements LeBron
LeBron's
in any
last
way?
year, right? Yeah, this
No.
is LeBron's last year.
Not
Under
necessarily.
under contract, yes.
Yeah, under contract.
So he's gonna want to build a super team. So he's gonna trade Anthony Davis. That's really the only asset. So he's gonna try to move him and get some more pieces.
Yeah, but what does he get? He's not gonna get depth. He's gonna ask for another star. I don't think that's gonna happen. They are two good buddies. They like each other more than LeBron did Kyrie, right? So I don't think anything like that's happening.
LeBron's one of those fake guys. He'll pretend to be your friend and then trade you. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
but
the flopping that LeBron was doing in the playoffs just bugged the crap out of me.
He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, that's just his game. Like it's just.
I hate it. It bothers.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say too much because James Harden was like the pro at it. He was probably the best at getting to the line. Embiid is another one that's a pro getting to the line. Trae Young, like sometimes they don't even have to flop. Like they actually just get beat because Trae Young
is like wrestling.
5'5".
It's like wrestling, right? The guy like makes the slap sound and the ref turns and he's like, he hit me, and they disqualify him, something along those lines.
Again, Dame, one of those targets for teams. The whole Suns. I feel like DeAndre Ayton could be another piece that gets moved. Obviously, the Wizards went full rebuild and they traded Porzingis to the Celtics, which I don't like. It seems like a good fit, but at the same time, they're missing a point guard.
Yeah, like who's gonna be the point guard?
Derek White is gonna would be the starting point guard now. But I don't want to. We already know that Tatum and Brown are gonna dominate the ball more probably, but it's like I don't know. I don't trust that.
I think with a team like that, you need a dominant point guard because you got to.
They couldn't make the Damian Lillard trade now, unless they traded Brown.
Yeah, I think if anyone gets moved, it'll be Jaylen Brown versus Tatum. I think that's Tatum's team.
Yeah, no, it has been since he got there. It has been. It really has. What are you gonna say, Sam?
Just all the movement and player movements and whatever. The Celtics, when I was doing my research into which team to play, boy, their fans get so angry over their team. It's ridiculous.
No idea.
I jumped in that water. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's always those big market teams. It's like the Celtics, the Lakers.
I mean, these people are losing their minds.
The Knicks. The Clippers, all these big market teams, they always get way too hating on their own franchise.
Yeah.
Well, the Knicks is deserving. James Dolan has just ruined that franchise, man.
Yeah, 100,000%. I feel like the Knicks.
He is probably
they should have been.
He's probably the worst owner in all of sports. Well, when you kick out a franchise like Charles Oakley, he banned Charles Oakley from the Garden. Bro, what are you doing?
That's ridiculous. Why?
But I mean, I feel like the Knicks they also have some draft assets, some draft capital, and
they had none this year.
None this year, obviously, but I feel like
zero picks.
They can still make some moves in the offseason. You can trade probably Mitchell Robinson. I'll probably trade Julius Randle if I'm honest.
Just try to dig yourself out of hell, I suppose.
Yeah. The thing is this: before, you didn't need to have a great roster. Just the allure of playing in New York was enough to get big name free agents. Now they all shun them because no one wants to play for a disorganized franchise with terrible ownership. Why would I waste my career there?
Yeah, but they're actually playing better basketball right now. They completely played Cleveland out of the court when everybody thought that Cleveland was going to take that series. So if they can replicate the actual game that they've been playing this year, I could see a PG getting traded to New York. I would love Paul George in New York. Maybe Jaylen Brown. I would love Jaylen Brown with play some defense, get some buckets with Jalen Brunson. Maybe trade for DeAndre Ayton.
Didn't need help. Because outside of Brunson, they don't really have much, honestly. Like RJ Barrett's,
RJ
Julius
Barrett,
Randle. Julius Randle's a no-show when you need him.
exactly. So, that's what I'm saying. Imagine a lineup of, and I don't know exactly how to make this happen, but imagine a lineup of Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Jaylen Brown, any four that you want, and DeAndre Ayton, right? Let's say they trade Mitchell Robinson to the Suns, because the Suns need a defensive-minded center that's not going to bitch about not getting the ball, right? So do a swap deal. You got DeAndre Ayton. He's going to get all the touches he needs because Brunson is probably going to feed him the ball a lot more than Kevin Durant would or Kevin Booker would. And then, Jaylen Brown doesn't need the ball to be efficient. We've seen that with the Celtics.
His whole career,
Brunson's
basically.
Jalen Brunson is just a bucket getter, facilitator. So I feel like New York is like only a couple of pieces away from actually becoming like one of those teams that we're talking about conference finals appearances,
But the problem is the owner. He's a worse person than Jerry Jones. He's holding that team back.
It's about the behind the scenes stuff that holds them back for sure. But winning cures everything, like we've always said.
Yes, it does. It doesn't matter like if the player is a terrible person or whatnot. If you win your games, you win your games.
Yeah.
Well, that owner meddles a lot. He meddles like Jerry Jones, but it's to the detriment of the team.
I was reading this whole thing on Jerry Jones recently where it said he made gamble in the 90s and it paid off like big time. And then he just keeps gambling and it just doesn't work. And,
No. The thing is, that team was built by Jimmy Johnson. That was not Jerry Jones. That was all Jimmy Johnson. That man, he constructed an entire roster. And when he left, they won one with Barry Switzer after that. Nothing. Because you know what? Jerry Jones meddled so much and he didn't know what he was doing. That was all Jimmy Johnson. And that guy never got his flowers. He never got his flowers. They always give the credit to Jerry Jones. I'm like that was Jimmy Johnson. He's the master behind all those trades.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, I don't know. After that Dak performance against the 49ers, I feel like they're just kind of like in limbo now.
They've been in limbo for 30 years.
Yeah, the Cowboys just suck.
Well,
they make the play. They either don't make the playoffs or they make them and they choke. We know.
Look, their fans have been saying since 1996, it's our year. We're
Super Bowl
bound.
Every year.
We are now in the year of our Lord 2023. Mm-hmm. There's been 0 Super Bowl appearances.
Let me ask before we go into something else. Let me ask, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, Rios, of like probably the biggest trade that happened this past week, which is Chris Paul to the Warriors. What were your thoughts on it? Because when I saw it, like I felt like it didn't make sense to me. But I'm growing up to the idea. I'm growing close to the idea of like maybe this is good, like a win-win for both of them.
I don't see it. I just don't see it, man. Like the Warriors are not a championship team. Like Draymond's gonna leave. Steph's getting older.
No, well, that's not the case anymore because they dumped the Jordan Poole contract, so they could restructure the deal so that they get Draymond back for another year.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's about the money. I think he's been a big LeBron guy. He's part of Clutch Sports now. He's always promoting him on his podcast.
But we've been knowing that for years, and they won a championship 2 years ago.
I wouldn't be surprised if Draymond goes to the Lakers. Let's just put it that way.
But if he doesn't, if they bring him back, they have.
He's basically a declining player with a big mouth. He ran off KD.
He has always been that. He has always been. He was never a big scorer. He was never a big scorer.
The thing is, he brought other traits, and now he brings none of that. But he still has the same mouth.
He brings defense.
Does he though? Like
yes.
Maybe
Poppy over there spitting. He's like, yeah.
Like if you look at the series,
6 years ago, like maybe, but now like he's just a big mouth.
You forget that they won a championship only 2 years ago against a Celtics team that was better than them in every facet of the game.
But was that because of him or because of Steph Curry going off?
Steph Curry only goes off because of the defense and the playmaking that Draymond provides. Draymond Green is one of the most frustrating players to have in your roster because of the big mouth he has. because of the antics, kicking players, getting into fights. But my guy is probably one of the smartest players on the court. Like who has the best IQ on the floor whenever the Warriors are playing? It's literally Draymond and Steph. Probably the smartest players on the court when it happens.
So it kind of felt like when you talk about the Golden State Warriors, even before I was following basketball this year or whatnot, everybody's like, this dynasty is going to last forever, blah, blah, blah. And then it just stopped. That's how it felt like to me.
Nothing lasts forever.
Well, no.
The thing is, when they had KD, it felt like it would last forever. But then, Draymond ran him off. And
but Draymond also brought him there, So it's like you can't give him credit for one thing and not give him credit for the other.
Oh, no, I give him credit for, crying in the parking lot to get him over there.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
He also ran him off.
I hope Sengun is crying right now on the phone, fucking trying to bring who's the best player? Fucking Jokic and Giannis to the Rockets.
Not gonna happen, but no, I give him credit for bringing KD there and ruining basketball for 2 years, basically.
Yeah, I know. It felt like you were playing in cheat mode, like rookie.
But then he ran him off, and then he ran off Jordan Poole, and
they still won a championship, though. They still won a championship.
Goodness.
So
basketball's different.
Because look at this. Look at this. You still got Steph, who's like still elite, regardless. You got Clay, who is not the player he used to be, but he's not.
Which honestly, I really like Clay's game. Man.
Yeah, he hasn't declined as much as people suggest that he has.
But you can see like those the ACL and the Achilles.
I mean that'll do that for anybody, right? You still got Draymond, who's still like one of the smartest players in ball.
Mr. Triple Single.
With his triple single, hey, but the defense, bro, with the defense. And then you got Chris Paul probably coming off the bench, running the second unit, letting Steph get some rest. Like it's not like Chris Paul is going to come in and like drop 20. He doesn't do that anymore. He wasn't doing that in the Suns, but he was playing the game the right way, getting everybody involved. He made DeAndre Ayton look like he could compete with Embiid and Jokic. He was probably the third best center the year they went to the finals, because Chris Paul like had him running in all cylinders.
Well, that's what they call him, the point guard. Like he's what you want. He's what you want in the point guard. The leadership, that the making the right play at the right time. Elevating the play of your teammates, and his issues are just staying healthy in the playoffs. Every year he gets hurt in the playoffs.
But now he's probably going to play the least amount of minutes of his career. Coming off the bench, because I don't think they're going to play both of them together, because that's too small of a backcourt. Way too small. No,
they technically could, because Steph's really more of a shooting guard anyway.
He could be a two, but like again, like if they play against, freaking the Hornets, LaMelo's taller than both of them put together.
Yeah.
LaMelo, like
hell, even the Rockets, Amen Thompson 6'7". He's gonna be the point guard.
Exactly. So, I'm not saying that they're championship bound by any means.
I mean, they're a contender for sure. It's a good situation for him to go to. I'll give him that, but better than Phoenix though. Like, I don't know.
Oh well, Phoenix flamed out 2 years in a row, man.
That was so bizarre to me.
Yeah, and like Bradley Beal, like if you look at Bradley, do you look at the Suns right now? You got KD. Buckets. Devin Booker, buckets. Bradley Beal, buckets. DeAndre Ayton, nothing.
Complaining.
Yeah, like who else is on there? Like they don't even have depth in the bench, and which was one of the biggest issues that they had. They don't have their point guard anymore.
Yeah, it's a big drop off from Bradley Beal, CP3.
It's like
speaking of KD. Bro, I saw the wildest thing last night. So there was this space on Twitter where it said KD is not top 5. KD joined in and it was just going off on everyone. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh my God.
KD's social media is so freaking nuts. I mean,
it's a show. It's a show.
That man is a menace on Twitter. But he jumped in this random space saying KD's not top. It was just defending himself and going off on everyone. I'm like, that was just comedy gold right there. Like, bro,
KD needs
what a time to be alive.
KD needs to get a hobby or something, man.
A hobby.
You can't be going off all randos like Ron Artest. You know what I mean?
Well, better to do it on Twitter than on the court.
No, you got that right.
Like on the bleachers.
That shocked me so bad. I literally had like popcorn.
I can't believe you never heard of that.
No, I never heard of it. I was like, cool, Pacers, like things the Pacers are known for. Oh, this is awesome.
What the Pacers are known for? Jerry Miller, Melis at the Palace.
The good old days. The Mouse and the Palace.
That one really good Paul George year series against LeBron or whatever.
Before he broke his leg in the Olympics.
Yeah.
That was the big story, was like, should players go play in the Olympics, even though, that was what started that whole conversation. I do remember that.
So we're going to wrap it up here in a second. I just want to get some final thoughts from Rios and you, Sam. But first,
cool.
Rios. Thoughts on the draft. Keep it brief. Thoughts on the draft and thoughts on the Houston Rockets off-season. Go.
For the draft, A++++. So you got 2 top 5 players, basically at 4 and at 20. I think Cam Whitmore, he's gonna play with the chip on his shoulder his entire career. Like, he's gonna remember he fell from guaranteed top 5 pick to number 20. So I think he's gonna carry that. I think he's gonna have that dog in him. As far as the offseason, I don't think they're done yet, so I can't give them a grade just yet. I think they're gonna make a couple more moves. I can see them bringing in a better point guard. So ease the transition for Amos. I think Amos not gonna start right away. I think they're gonna ease him in. I think towards the end of the year, when it's obviously we're not going to make the play-in, he's going to be starting and get that experience, and next year take that big leap.
I'm hoping you're right. Maybe a veteran point guard, maybe like a veteran center, just so we don't have to like play Sengun against some of those like really big, strong bigs. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm hoping the offseason is not done. I don't think we're going to bring James Harden with.
I don't see it
getting a point guard now, and Amen Thompson. So we'll see what happens. Now, Sam, I know you just became a Pacers fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're even familiar with like any other picks or whatever.
Working on it.
What are
the first one I liked. They needed it. They needed Walker. They had to have him. That's the way I see it.
What are your expectations for their season?
I kind of feel they'll be meddling. I feel like they won't be terrible, but they won't be good either.
Do you think they'll make the play-in?
No, I don't think they're going to make it play-in.
Do you think we're going to see them in the lottery next year?
They very well could. The way things are going, because my in-laws are Pacers fans, and they said, "Well, Sam, do you want to go to a team that wins, or do you want to go to a team that's trying to get out of there?" So that's what my father-in-law told me, and I was like, "Oh no, I'll stick with you. That's fine." And I think Walker's a step in the right direction. I would like to see Walker probably next season. I bet he'll be a lot more ready to take charge, being a point guard. Is he a point guard? Power.
He is a power forward.
He's a
shout out to Trace.
Yeah.
UH Cougs, baby. UH Cougs.
It's okay. He just got into the game, guys.
Yeah. I'm here. Be gentle with me. Be gentle.
I feel like that he's gonna do well. He can play the 3 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think he excels at the 4. Like he
excels at the 4, especially with Miles Turner. Who we know he can shoot. I feel like Walker, it's a good fit, especially with Tyrese playmaking and shooting the ball the way as good as he does.
He's a good dude. He was the second best player on the UH Cougars team. Like after Sasser, like he was one of the big reasons we made it as far as we did.
Who finishes with a better record, Rockets or Pacers?
Pacers, I guess, since I'm rooting for them. But you guys say you're a little worse off, so that's what I'm going to say. Sure, you guys know your team.
I'm going to go Rockets. I think they have depending on how this offseason plays out, they have a legitimate shot of making the play-in. Winning it, probably not, but making to the play-in, I could see it happening.
See, Poppy, he's too biased. He can't see past
I feel like it's gonna come down to coaching. If Ime Udoka can actually turn the defense around and actually get these players to play some honest defense
and give the ball to Sengun, like Silas having him on the bench, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? That's one of your best players. You have him on the bench for what?
He was our best player for like a 2-month stretch last season.
Like 2-3 months. I'm like, but you would sit him down for long stretches. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
I'm probably gonna say the Pacers.
Yay! Welcome aboard, Poppy.
Just because they're like, I feel like they're been together longer, a little bit more well constructed. I know Tyrese just got there this year, but he already looks like he's basically one of those guys who fits in pretty much any system. Mm-hmm. So I'm liking their chances. I think they're gonna make the play-in. The Rockets, I feel like they're gonna be in the whereabouts, but I don't know if we're gonna make it just yet. But that was a lot of basketball talk.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, let's wrap it up before Carlos has a aneurysm or something.
Oh, he likes just an hour. I'm assuming.
No one cares about that.
Nobody does care about that.
Oh,
but
hopefully where he is, he pulls a hamstring.
Oh my God!
No, I just hope he loses his keys for like.
Gets lost in Mexico.
I hope he finds them. I hope he finds
in his cargo pocket, right? Like he's like, "Oh, thank God."
I hope he panics.
Don't remind me of those keys, man. Like I was supposed to be at work that same morning. I can't find my keys.
Be careful, Carlos.
I'm like, the fuck you mean you can't find your keys? Like, bro, I gotta be at work in 4 hours. We gotta go.
I got an Apple tag.
Okay, nobody asked Carlos. Anyway. It's been great having you, Sam. We're probably gonna have you a lot more. You're basically like a family of the show now. We will have you obviously to talk some football, some Titans.
Yes. Yep.
But next NBA season, we'll definitely have you over so we can talk how your Pacers are sucking butt and our Rockets are winning the division.
Cool. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm psyched. Slumpbuster here for y'all, for your amusement. Oh, wow.
Uber from Fort Worthless. Yeah, that was brilliant strategy.
I'm going to text that guy. I hope he's okay.
I know.
I gotta love it. I gotta love it. So we're gonna play the outro now. I know it has the old logo. I haven't gone to it. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Almost as bad as Carlos.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for all the comments. Thank you, Sam, for being here with us. Thank you, Rios, for not falling asleep and being here. And thank you myself because I've missed a few shows lately, and so I'm actually hoping to make a streak.
Poppy.
We're gonna see you guys on Monday. We have Mr. Wheelhouse to join us, talk some Astros, some baseball.
Hopefully, it's a series win when we talk about Monday.
I hope so. But thank you guys again for joining the show, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Ain't no lie, baby. Bye bye.